Hello everybody and welcome back, where today we're jumping into Gran Turismo 7 in the Eiger Nordwand, or Eiger Nordwand as it's pronounced. And yes, I can confirm this map is in Switzerland, it's not in Norway as I said in the last Gran Turismo video where we checked it out. Sometimes you just say things and then suddenly you've gotten something wrong in front of like 10,000 people, so oops. But we're back in Eiger Nordwand in the RA272, I believe, and this is going to be a race of about 7 laps. I think it was a full lobby of people in this single-seater, open-topped track car that is very old. I think it's from 1965, and it's essentially got the opposite of traction control, really. So it's all about just fettering the throttle, making sure you know where the grip is essentially, and that is what right now is all about, which is qualifying, and I am struggling to find where the grip is. And by the end of it, we go into the actual race in like minus confidence. I was not sure where I should be braking properly. I don't really have enough time, but we'll skip ahead to the race and see how we do. But qualifying was not wonderful. Okay, moving ahead, and before we get into the race, please feel free to like and subscribe. We do everything PSVR2 here, and I'm a bit of a sim racing fan. I'm still learning and starting in P9 today, but if you'd like to, that would be much appreciated. Anyway, away we go for the start of the, essentially not formation lap, but formation up to the line. Yeah, we're starting right at the back in P9. There's a blue RA272, I forget, I'm just going to call them a Honda. They're Hondas. There's a blue Honda behind us. This is the one to watch really for this race. This will be my main rival, who is actually a lot faster than I am, and the rest of us just have the normal liveries on. Since I don't actually own one of these, you can buy them in Legendary Cars, I think, but I didn't really go for one because I don't really enjoy the handling too much. At least I thought I didn't, but we'll find out if I really like the handling by the end of this race. But we're up and away, immediately making up a position and squeezing that guy to the right, which is actually my bad, but I didn't really make too much contact with him. He just kind of sent himself into the wall, but still a little bit aggressive, but that's how it's got to be in turn 1 sometimes. Right, pushing down towards the actual turn 1, because that wasn't really turn 1. We're on to our first lap here now. Straight down into first. A lot of these corners you have to take in first. Somebody absolutely dive bombs down the inside. Luckily I'm not dead, but people going wide everywhere. Full steering lock to the left. Luckily ghosting is on there because I would have hit that guy. He has got a 3-second penalty and crashed into the wall, so that is the caliber of driving that we're talking about here. I go too wide there and let the guy on the inside let him go. Completely my fault. Bad line there, and let 2 positions fall away. The guy with the 3-second penalty is falling behind a little bit as well, while these 2 battle in the front. As we move up to the longest corner, I think, I want to say, unless one of the roundabout-like corners just behind us might have been the longest one, but this one we put down into first, and we try and carry it up into second as we gain some speed. I'm trying to figure out where the grip is still. I didn't have too much time in quali, so you can see me kind of letting off the throttle a little bit, not pushing quite as hard as others, as we hear some sort of crash behind, as I'm assuming one of the other racers hit the wall. Fighting for P6 here. This is probably where you get caught out the most. Putting the power down there, it's so easy to overdo it and lose the car, and counter steering luckily saved me there, but I did lose a position to the blue car in front, who is incredibly quick around here, as I found out throughout all the laps around the track. The problem was I was still figuring out exactly where the grip was, as I said, but these cars, the Hondas, they are fun to drive once you get the hang of it, and they are beautiful interior, and they give you a great view of the Eiger Nordwand as we get dive bombed, and that guy just basically kills himself meeting the barrier there. Full steering lock to the left wasn't quite good enough, leaving it too wide. But as I'm driving, yeah, trying to appreciate the fact that this map is incredibly open to look at, especially from this cockpit. It is absolutely beautiful, and in the spectator cam especially, you can see all the details on the car as well. They are exquisitely scanned and modeled things. They are absolutely fantastic. Right, past the penalty line, but we have no penalty, of course, which is absolutely wonderful. Coming onto that long right-hander again. Downshifted a bit too soon there, which is completely my fault, but pushing up into second, trying to figure out where the grip is again, and coming up to that point where I almost lost the car in the last lap. It's so easy to do. Coming through here, this is exactly the bit, and I'm losing time to the blue car in front. They are faster on pace. I don't lose the car at all there, which is good. That's what I want. Full power, flat out all the way down until we get to the start of the turn here, and then straight on the brakes, down into first. You want a wide line through here, but I'm hugging the apex too much, meaning that I'll have to let off the throttle and get a worse exit than the car in front. That's where he made up quite a lot of time on me, but I'm still confident that if I can put my laps together, put together a good lap, I can get up to him again. Down into first as we pass a poor person who is backwards. Not quite sure what happened there, but it is quite easy to overdo it, especially if you're chasing someone or going for a move down there. In these cars, any mistake is kind of exaggerated by far, but this was a fantastic race in these. I did really enjoy it by the end. It was just very, very nerve-wracking. We are a bit closer to the blue Honda in front, and there's a driver in front of them, but I think it's a little bit too far to reach. But we are going for it. Straight back up to the fabled turn where I shift down too quickly, and I still do a little bit there, but not really enough to lose too much time. The car in front of the blue Honda has a penalty, which is wonderful for me. And the goal of this race, of course, mostly is to have fun, because this one isn't really too serious compared to some of the other ones where I'm driving in, say, a Group 3 or 4 car that I'm trying to learn. This is more just for fun, but I still just want to, you know, make up some places and improve my driver rating. My safety rating is now on S, which is good, but my driver rating, I'm still in like D at the moment. These videos kind of come out of order as well, so my driver rating may change kind of upwards and downwards depending on what comes out when, depending on the schedule of how busy PSVR2 is at the time. Anyway, coming down the main straight, hitting a bit of a jump. It's so cool to watch the suspension, especially in the spectator cam on that one. It's the modeling on these cars and the animation work, or the physics work, I guess, is fantastic. Full lock on the left. Again, bit of a better exit than last time, trying to put the power down without losing the car. Successfully done, made up a bit of time on the blue Honda in front. He's now within striking distance. A much better turn than the other competitors on that one, maybe because they're kind of a bit closer to each other. Now, the guy with the penalty up ahead is now serving it, so he drops back by 3 seconds, which is a hefty one, and yeah, right behind. He does have decent pace though, so I'm worried about him kind of catching up, but we'll have to just wait and see whether he tries to make a move. You can see him around the outside a little bit there. I do have my radar on the right, so you can see whether or not he's getting close, and also see him in that left-hand wing mirror, which is terrifying. But the race is on ahead. That's what we're focusing on. Let's go and get it, shall we? So, chasing the blue Honda, a tyre squeal behind, and that guy who was in the rearview mirror, well, if we had one in our left wing mirror, I guess, is into the barrier and gone, which is wonderful for us. No pressure from behind now. I can focus on not having to defend, just attacking the Honda in front. But the Honda, again, the blue one has a lot more pace than I do, so we'll have to wait and see. There are a couple corners where I get that edge on him, but overall their pace throughout the lap is better. So unless they make a mistake, unless I can force myself to get up there in their, you know, in their business a bit and make them make a mistake, or if they just do one by themselves because they're feeling the pressure or they lose the grip, that's what I'm waiting for. Any mistake like that. But right now that is not happening. But we are closing the gap again, and you can tell that they can notice that. You know, I was in that position with the car behind on the last lap, and you know, you notice them in the rear view and you feel that pressure mount. But they had a very good exit out of there, and I'm kind of getting nowhere on my attack at the moment. It's just my unfamiliarity with the car and not great in the track. But a miracle happens, and they absolutely send it almost into the wall, completely spun around, and this is now my chance to get away. I pass them up into P5, and while they're turning around, getting their car sorted again, I need to just make that gap, so that even though they had more pace than me and might be able to close the gap back up a bit, this is the time for me to capitalize on that and get as far ahead as possible, so by the time the race ends, they haven't caught up nearly enough. Not a great exit out of, well, the last corner coming into the main straight, and almost kind of losing the car a little bit. Onto the jump. Kind of love the jump, not gonna lie, I've really come around to it. Originally I thought, well, I don't really see the point of having the jump there, but it's a load of fun. I really, really like it, especially with these open top cars. Anyway, we are on lap 6 of 7. 2 laps to go. My delta is down from my fastest lap, but it's because I'm I'm trying to push because I need to make that gap to the car behind, but I'm also trying not to lose the car. The worst thing I can do is overdrive the car, overdrive the track, and bin it into a wall. But at the moment, just taking the sense of speed, because it is absolutely crazy. One thing I love about PSVR2, and if you're a Gran Turismo lover, but you've never tried PSVR2, and this is maybe your first time seeing PSVR2 gameplay, as I almost lose the car there, this is the type of POV that you get when racing on PSVR2, especially in these cars. It is fantastic. The immersion is crazy. I mean, I was like in awe of the material of the steering wheel in VR, which is a really stupid thing to be kind of in awe about, but it was really, really cool to see the different materials the car's made out of, all the details really come out in virtual reality. Not when you're under pressure from drivers at the start of the race. It's a lot more about just trying to survive there. But at this point in the race, even though I am focusing on my lines, of course, it's just quite a nice opportunity to enjoy the car, enjoy the experience, and take in the fact that this is possible in virtual reality, which is absolutely crazy. Anyway, that is my kind of PSA for why PSVR2 for this game is crazy good. As we continue down to another one of the tight corners, another one I take in first. A little bit of power there. You can see the engine not really doing too much work. Gravity is doing most of the work here. And then full on the power down over the bridge. Really, really cool area that over the bridge. And coming down into probably second would have been a good idea, but I downshifted into first. I did that a lot in this race, and I find myself doing that a lot, is I downshift when I don't need to. I kill my speed because it's trying to engine brake a bit, and then I always get overtaken if I make that mistake. But luckily there's no one else around to overtake me. I just need to bring it home. Let's not lose it at the place where I almost always lose it. Perfectly smooth through there. Look at that. Lovely stuff. Just looking up at the sky there. I think there was a bird. If I remember right, there was a bird on this map flying around, and I was like, oh, what's that? Anyway, final corner. Let's bring it down onto the straight. Bit of a tidier line than normal there, but still a bit slow, and there we go. You can tell I am a bit relieved to be done with that. But it was amazing, good fun. Up into 5th, we gained, 4 or 5 positions, which is awesome. It's exactly what I set out to do, and I really, really enjoyed it. This one is on the weekly rotation as of August 7th, but I think in 2 days it might be gone. So by the time this video is out, it might be gone. But check some open lobbies for Eiger Nordwand, or maybe jump into a custom race with AI and do this in this car if you have it, because it is so much fun. But keep an eye out on the daily race rotation. That's one annoying thing about these videos, is that they're kind of good to fill in any space in the PSVR2 schedule if nothing's coming out. But it also means that the daily races that I do are never actually on the daily races at the time that they actually come out. But anyway, thank you all for watching, as we're up into 5th. 4 positions gained. Thank you to our patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel and the content. Who's Luke Bentley, Phil Irving, Hazit Mirza, Ace Gamer, Hippie Pickle, Jin007, A License to Chill, Sun WTF, Fat Controllers, Jason Parker, Lamar Hall, Jordy Bansma, and Lemon64K. Thank you all for watching once again, and I hope to see you all in the next one.